60 minutes of hockey set to begin. The Brahmas will be moving from right to left in the period. The Roadrunners from left to right. Wickline on the draw with Fernsler. Let's play some hockey. Fernsler on the backhander. Picked up on the wall, and that one chipped ahead. It's gloved there by Solovyev and jammed at the wall by Wickline. That one brought out the center, and it's dropped back to play for Stanley. Forward motion for Wickline. He'll race it back to the end board with Brennan. Wheeling behind his net, rattles around to the far side for Norris. Brahmas strip it away. They drop it back towards the point. A hack by Vanderbeek, but it's swept out of the zone by Topeka, and the Brahmas will drop back to play in their own end. Clicking hard off the glass, Vogler has to ward it aside. Gloved at the blue line by the Brahmas Hunter Stanley. Stolen away by Fornaris. Stanley, the 6'3" forward, unable to get entrance on that chance. And it's brought in the backhander for Fernsler. Pressure by Vanderbeek and Solovyev. Stolen away and a blocked shot by Brickley. Kick save in front from Vogler. And it's cleared out of the zone of the backhander by the Topeka defense. 1 minute into period one. Brahmas take it at their own blue line. It's whipped in by Egan, who absorbed the brunt hit of the side of Mike Gornall, and it's saucered out to the near side where Santason will pump it back in. Puck race between Will Shearer and Quinn Carroll. Gornall back for Shearer, nearly stolen away by Walrab. It's picked back up by Lutz, and he's able to move it towards center. Walrab plays in his own end. It drops back for Santason, and that one goes diagonally up ice for Egan. Bouncing over Shearer, he'll take it back towards his own goal line. Irvine, tip pass for Gornall, trying to cut around Larson, and center ice is stolen by Vidmar. Trying to do it by himself. All eyes are on number 22 for the Lone Star Brahmas, as Vidmar has some trouble without seeing double, if not triple team at times in his games played. Brought back to the side of the net of Vogler. He leaves it there. Vidmar now in the corner for Lone Star. Brahmas try to wedge it there. It's pulled out in the forecheck by Irvine. And dropping behind his goal to play is Poland. Had 2 assists in last night's game. Recontrolled by Gornall, but a line change was called from Scott Langer's team. Tipped ahead from Vidmar. He'll race it down with Brennan. It's slapped around the boards. Larson will look to control side of the circle. Larson twisting around, going towards center. Backhander feed out of the reach of Andrew, and it's stolen away by the Roadrunners as Sly Sutter leaves it for J.B. Baker. Drop behind, Renneker now with it. Renneker a drive to the chest of Kupski. Save number 1 for Jake Kupski with 17:32 to play in period number 1. So the Brahmas on the season are 22-1 overall here in the NITEC Sports Center, but those 3 losses, one of which was in overtime, all came in the 2015 calendar year. Face-off will be to the glove side of Kupski. Renneker on the draw, but the Brahmas were able to win it. Numbers through center. Sturzinger to the right side, shooting on net, and the glove snagged by Vogler. A few inches out of his crease, and a stoppage of play just over 3:30 into period number 1. Guderian, the recent acquisition from the Odessa Jackalopes before the NAHL trade deadline, will take the face-off now for the Brahmas against Sam Renneker, a native of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Brahmas centerman won the draw, and Guderian had it tangled up there on the right dot, and it's pushed back around for Baker. Solovyev tried to hold it. Kessel will drop back with Steen to play. Hustle from Sly Sutter as Kessel tames the puck now. Navigating through center, it's forked into the zone past Sturzinger, and the Brahmas will go for a wholesale change. Roadrunners zip it up ice. This one's Bo Domer. Returned pass stolen away from Stanley and ripped off his stick right back from Maver. Santason will wrap it around. It's touched near side by Vanderbeek. Poland wipes it back in. It's kicked to control by Santason, who's back to play with Hayden Hansen. 3 minutes, 20 seconds into period 1. Brahmas will start the offense out of their own net. They have 2 shots in the opening couple minutes, and it's just 1 for the Topeka Roadrunners. Steered in by Will Shearer, rehacked down by Hiko Saka, but it was played with a high stick. So we'll take the face-off outside of the Brahmas zone. Just over 3:30 into period number 1. So last night it was a couple of questionable calls all around, not even to mention the goal scoring from the Roadrunners, but both teams had some penalty calls against them that possibly shouldn't have been called as the same officiating crew is here tonight, and the Brahmas fans who are out here on Friday night are certainly going to keep their eyes, and they'll be the secondary referees, if you will, for tonight's contest. Brickley lost the puck. A backhander by Walrab went through the crease, and it's scooted out through center by Carlos Fornares. Brahmas defense will drop back to touch. Hansen wipes it ahead for Carroll. Sidestep Brickley, and now goes on Brennan. That one wraps behind the net of Vogler. Walrab jams it at the half boards. It clicks off the skates of Egan and retouched by the Brahmas blue liners. Giles will wrap it around the glass. Tipped in by Egan. It's him on 3 Roadrunners, and out of the mess comes Brennan from Delaware, Ohio. Fernsler will take it near corner. Brahmas fans with life. Centering feed. Drop back to the point. Giles shooting one. Just went wide. Trying to block the shot was Cam Strong in front. Giles again. Side of the circle. It's brushed out of the zone, and Walrab will drop back to play. Line change called from the Roadrunners to the wing for Guderian. Tips it into the zone. Kessel tries to gain entrance. He was partially blocked off, and now Irvine will twist with it on the left side. Soloviev cross ice to Steen, and that one steered into the zone. Sturzinger wedged it along the boards. Irvine got it out first, and Gornall up ice behind Lutz, though, as the Brahmas defense sends it back to the boards. Johan Steen touched it first. Soloviev will take it behind his net. Steen gets the puck, and now brushing it in. Vogler, far side, stolen, shooting one just through center. Ludwig Larsson was cutting in front, and this one goes around the wall. Vidmar going around Gornall. Those two will bump some bodies. Vidmar, the backhander for Larsson with room, shooting it wide to the blocker's side of Vogler, and Brahmas back out. They certainly have some more life here in period 1 than a night ago. Soloviev trying to kick it to control, and Gornall will skate it out towards center and ease it past Oscar Andrin. Johan Steen back behind his net to play. We're 5 minutes and 30 seconds into regulation. It's scoreless between Lone Star and Topeka. Vidmar speeding in, cutting at the top of the circle. Now on his knees, got some help from Egan. A wrist shot jammed through by Storm Walrab, and he'll pick it back up in the corner. Walrab to use his grit, but Will Shearer canceled it. Walrab got it back. Centering feed. That was held on to by Walrab. He never could get it through after the hesitation. Or deflected on net by Egan. A backhander pushed away by Shearer. Egan tried to control it in the slot. Santason, wrister scores! Santason, the left point, beats the blocker side of Vogler as the Brahmas lead 1-0 with 13:47 to go in period number 1. Textbook feed by Pat Egan. He didn't take the early hesitation, no problems for the Brahmas winger from New York as he brought it around to the corner, found a passing lane, and it was a perfect feed for Santason, who hammers one past the left side of Vogler to put the Brahmas on the board early, just like they did a night ago. Now it's going to be Topeka's turn to answer, as they did so last night, but that was a powerful punch by Anton Santason to give Lone Star the early lead. Santason's been one of the best offensive defensemen on this team. He has 7 goals on the year. That's going to be his 25th point. And for Pat Egan, his 22nd assist, and he now joins the 30-point club with a couple of other fellow Brahmas forwards. Brought in on the right side. Pass comes behind a man, and that one's shot on by Wickline, and it's covered on the trapper of Vogler before Stanley had a chance to go for the puck. So Brahmas will hold the offensive zone. That's what they had to do in this game, as the terrace section behind the net right now of Jake Kupski is completely full, and they had to get this fan base involved early, and Santason helped do just that. Wickline towards center. It was stolen away and brought out with speed by Hiko Saka. Him and Domer through center. Hiko Saka backhander punched away from Kupski, and is picked back up behind the net by Giles. Hiko Saka to center. Mauver unable to control. It's sweeped up by Stanley. He'll carry it between the benches now. Cutting through center. Stanley forcing his way past Brennan, and it's touched up by Brickley in the corner. Maver on the forecheck. Vanderbeck and Stanley are there for the Brahmas. Now make it Wickline. Leaves it to his side for Stanley. A delayed penalty upcoming against the Roadrunners, and the Brahmas will get their first chance on the red, hot, and blue power play. A checking from behind call being assessed just under 7 minutes into this opening period. Maver, the man guilty. And he'll have a seat in the Uncle Bob's self-storage penalty box for 2 minutes. Brahmas couldn't get anything going on their power play unit last night. They went 0 for 7. Maybe that'll change this evening. Santason, the face-off win. Trade spots with Larson. Cross ice for Soloviev. Right back for Santason. Puck was too hot to handle, and it's wrapped around for Andrin. Tips it over for Vidmar. He's muscled off the puck from Fernsler. Soloviev stepping deep into the zone to play, and it's hacked off a pair of sticks. And now for Cam Strong at center. Bent out diagonally past Santason. A PK unit will change for Topeka. Santason there to play, and Larson will take the puck around. Far side for Andrin. Putting on the brakes, waits for Vidmar and Larson. At the blue line, it's held by Santason. Stick handles past Sutter. Now Soloviev hammering one just wide the rebound. And trying to find the stick of Larson in midair, but he couldn't control it in time. That's a very tough rebound chance off the end boards to do, but Larson nearly found it off his body, and he had an open net with Vogler off his pipes. Wrapped around, and here comes Sturtzinger, blowing his way through center. Walrap taking the feed, zips it cross ice. Brahmas with lane. Thompson shooting, and a kick save by Vogler, cleared out through center by Gornall. Less than a minute to go on the Brahmas power play. Gornall went wide. Kupski steered it away off the stick. Walrab ballerinas his way around and gets the handle off for Hansen as it ping-pongs cross ice for Egan. Sticked off the side by Vogler. Sturtzinger looks to get to Baker, but not enough time as that one's sent out of the zone. The Brahmas defense will have to drop back to play. Still 30 seconds to go on the Brahmas red, hot, and blue power play chance. The first power play for either side in this game. Steen winds one up as that one goes all the way around. Larson will look to get control back at the circle, but it's canceled by J.B. Baker, and Steen goes back to play with Giles. Giles whips it back in. Final 5 of the man advantage. Shearer tries to angle it out. It was jammed on a pair of Brahmas bodies and gloved at center by Giles. Back to full strength with Maver out of the box. High off the glass, Brahmas go for a line change. Their lead at 1-0, 9 minutes into period 1. Nearly stolen from Andrin, rebrushed in by Renneker. Kupski playing behind. Leaves it to the corner for Soloviev, and that one clicks off the glass, and it's tamed at the Topeka blue line. Right back for Giles. Boxed out strong, and the icing whistle is assessed against Topeka. So approaching the halfway mark of period number 1. Anton Santason from Pat Egan, our only goal scoring thus far. Wickline will take the draw against Fernsler. Brahmas need to do a better job in the second half of this year on their face-off percentages, as they've been sliding a bit in that category. This team has typically about 65% on draws, but that number has struggled as of late. Knifed out off the stick of Cam Strong. Soloviev zips it cross ice looking for Vanderbeck, and this icing will go against Lone Star. So Soloviev, Hansen, Stanley, Vanderbeck, and Wickline will all remain on the ice for the Brahmas, and it's a fresh 5 for Topeka. Hunter Stanley just back from an injury as well. That sidelined him for about 6 weeks' time. As Dan Wildfong and Jeff Potter fortunate to have their physical forward back in play. He's done a good job in a few shifts thus far since coming back, as a quality save just made by Kupski, stolen away from Hikosaka. Ripped it off the stick of Vanderbeck. Shooting one, as that one's answered by the lower pads of Kupski. Hansen back to work. Wickline at the end boards, wedged it through, and now Vanderbeck will spin his way out to the circle. Drop back to the blue line where Brickley will pick up. Center ice, it's Domer, and gotten past the Brahmas players as both teams will go for a line change. Over halfway through period 1, Soloviev waiting to start the rush out now. Controlled by Hansen. Finds Carroll cutting through center. 2-on-1. Shooting fanned on by Carroll at a point-blank range. Shearer takes the puck behind the net. Settled out by Topeka. And that one forced ahead to the Brahmas blue line, but it was canceled out by the Brahmas alternate captain and Cleveland, Ohio defenseman. Shearer slips it through. Gornall working at the point. Wrist shot blocked and cleared out immediately by Quinn Carroll. Touched up by Kelly. The Brahmas able to work it in. Couple forwards will change for Lone Star. Shearer had it knocked down from Kessel. Walrab cutting back to the half boards, and it goes over the head of Johan Steen. Anton Santos at the goal line to play. Still 8 minutes and 30 seconds to go in period one. Your Lone Star Brahmas lead is 1-0. Steen had some trouble in the neutral zone. It's slapped in by Kessel, and Vogler will halt the puck behind his net. Bent to the side by Kelly. That one's lifted up ice. Giles trying to settle the bouncing puck, and now Santoson will collide with the stick there of J.B. Baker. And it's around the boards for Kessel. Angled out of the zone. Gadarian feeds Sturzinger, cutting around Brennan. Those two will collide at the wall, and Brennan will steal it quickly, and a penalty against Liam Sturzinger as his stick got caught up directly in the skate of Brennan. So Topeka about to go on a power play chance here with a whistle and 7:48 remaining, and a tripping call against Sturzinger. So the Brahmas will go on the Raising Cane's penalty kill for their first time, as they did allow one power play goal for the Roadrunners, who now have 6 power play goals in the first 7 games of the series. The Brahmas, on the other hand, have just 3 against Topeka this year. Gornall locked his man up in the faceoff. Sutter takes it to the top part of the zone. Wipes it around Renneker. Centering feed went through everyone. It's picked back up by Fernsler. Tried to send it around. Nice block by Giles, and Walrab has some space. Cutting through center was Carroll. Now around Fernsler. Carroll lost the puck behind the stick of Fernsler, enough to interrupt it. Power play still for 1:40. Went past Gornall. A huge hit leveled by Walrab on Dan Brickley, and it looks like the Brahmas might be down 2 men, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Is some Brahmas fans not pleased with the call, but Walrab is going to the box for 2 minutes on a trip, and that's going to mean 5-on-3 hockey for 1 minute and 34 seconds. So Walrab trying to cut through the neutral zone. A bit overly aggressive for the referees tonight, as they've been calling a very tight game in terms of penalties. Not much has been let go, so Walrab needs to understand that to a bit, and because of it, he's in the penalty box for 2 minutes on a tripping call, what he thought was a clean hip check. Gornall won the faceoff. Poland has a lane. Hammering one was Brickley, and man, that one sizzles out of the zone, but what a cannon of a shot by Dan Brickley. Tames the puck, now to the winger. Gornall easing it in. Soloviev tried to knife it out, and that one sent off the boards, but blocked by Renneker. Now room. Poland down low. Oh, looking for the tip, and Gornall, as that was a bang-bang pass off of Fernsler. Wrist shot, scores! A tip puck at center, and Topeka on the 5-on-3 ties this game back at 1 with 6:53 to go. Home crowd silent on this one. A good shot at the blue line. And they're saying Sam Renneker is getting credit for the goal with Gornall and Brickley, the 2 with the assists. Still a power play chance for just under 1:30. Wickline able to steal it. Vidmar racing with him. Just past the blue line, the Brahmas Sebastian Vidmar there, but there were 3 Topeka bodies around as he couldn't do much with it there. So a 1-1 hockey game with 6:30 to go in period 1. Tipped right back for the defense and up ice Irvine. Got it past Giles, canceled off the stick of Thompson as he goes around the wall to find Vidmar. Brahmas on the PK, locked up by Fornaris. Centering feed, never had a chance. Irvine tried to ease it back for Lutz, but it was knocked down by the Brahmas and cleared by Vidmar. 45 seconds to go on the man advantage for Topeka. Racing back. Shoved off the puck was Gadarian on Maver. Check that, Poland. And there's still half a minute to go in the Topeka power play. Picked up by Brickley, no coming with speed. Fernsler behind, centering bid, tipped wide by Reneker. Kupski moved laterally nicely, but it was just sent wide on the mid-air tip. Out of the zone it goes. That one brushed behind the net of Jake Kupski and out of play, as 10 seconds will remain on the power play chance before Storm Walrab can exit the box. So a good job, though, on the power play by the Roadrunners of using all parts of the zone to set up their first goal of tonight's game. Good shot at the point, right at center ice. Kupski came out of his net big, but it was a tip first. That was able to get past him on his stick side. Santason cutting through. Gadarian sends it in, and Santason will race for it, back on full strength. Topeka wrapping behind their net, up ice for Gornall. Right wing side and in. It's left at the blue line. Brickley will pick it up, no problem. Now to the circle, shooting under the chest of Kupski, and he'll hold tight for the whistle. 5:06 to play in period number 1. Lone Star Brahmas scored first on Anton Santason, but a power play goal by Sam Reneker, his 13th of the season, makes it 1-1. Media timeout is here in period 1, and it looks like a penalty being assessed on a rough against their captain, Mike Gornall. So the Brahmas will be in the power play when we come back from this media timeout.
Hi, I'm Yvonne Smith with Vine Life Realty, and I am supporting Brahmas hockey team this year, conveniently located right outside of Fort Worth. So whether it's coming to see Brahmas or going to the Dallas Stars, I can help you all the way across the Metroplex. So for real estate that you can trust, give me a call.
So Mike Gornall with a roughing call against him after the play and behind the play, as the Brahmas will get their second chance on the red, hot, and blue power play in the final 5 minutes here of period number 1. Dan Wildfong trying to rally his team in the middle of that huddle on the bench, as Scott Langer doing the same for his penalty kill unit, as the Brahmas will opt to go with the Vidmar, Larson, and Andrin connection. The Swedish forwards with Santason and Solovyev back defensively. It's the 4 and 5 for the Lone Star Brahmas in the power play unit. And they'll take the offensive zone draw. Slid out through center. Solovyev will have to retreat for it. Lots of offense on the ice for the Brahmas. Solovyev and Santason, the best 2 blue liners in terms of power play points this year. Vidmar cutting around Fernsler. Wraps it around the wall for Andrew, and he left it for Solovyev. Had some trouble at the blue paint, and Solovyev has to spin around and wait for his team to come back on side. 30 seconds already expired in the power play chance. Andrin will wipe it into the corner. Shearer racing it out with Solovyev, and now it's sauced over for Santason. Has some room down low, tangled up by Shearer and cleared back to the wall. A nice job by the native of St. Charles, Missouri, of cutting off the leading goal scorer for the Brahmas. A second hack was off the right pad of Vogler. Santason fakes a shot, slides over with Larson, shooting on net, blocked down by the alternate captain. Larson will pick it back up, and at the wall is Andrin. 60 seconds remaining on the power play. Vidmar behind the net. Shearer quickly coming. Larson, stick handles past the goal line now for Vidmar. Shooting on net, tipped to the pads by Andrin, as he'll cover for the whistle, and that one caught deep in his legs. So Vogler having to pull that one out. Andren just ran out of space in the crease to create any offense, as that'll be Vogler's 7th save of the evening. Face off to Vogler's glove side. Wickline will be tossed from the draw. It appears that Vanderbeck will take it. Oh, maybe not. They're second guessing. They'll deal with Stanley. Under 4 to play in the period and 53 seconds to go in the power play chance. One behind by Topeka, and that one got past the skates of Thompson. Hansen dropping back to play. Reneker with pressure. Thompson surveys the ice. The Brahmas offense will reset. Got it through neutral zone. Vanderbeck in the corner. Around once more for Thompson. Centering feed. Left to the side, Vanderbeck. Thompson at the blue line, just able to hold. At center, a tipped on glove by Stanley, and Vogler snags it down with authority to stop play. A soft shot by Thompson. It wasn't quite the one he wanted, because that puck was bouncing on its side. But he knew that Hunter Stanley would be there at center, and that's exactly where number 13 was for Lone Star. But there wasn't enough juice on that initial shot to propel the puck over the left shoulder of Vogler. Larson now taking the draw. Fernsler had it swatted to the wall. And Santason will have to play back with Strong right behind. 12 seconds remaining on the Brahmas' red, hot, and blue power play. It's left for Vidmar. Gives it for Larson. Protects the puck and going wide around Fernsler. Larson cutting back. Vidmar shooting, kick save, pushed away. And now Vidmar gets it back. My apologies, that was Andren on the last attempt, full strength hockey. And Santason sends it out of play behind Vogler. And we'll have a stoppage with under 3 to go in period number 1. The Brahmas have been effectively working in the offensive zone. Just 1 goal to their credit right now, but they are doing good things compared to last night's results. And lots of pressure in front of the net of Drew Vogler. If the Brahmas keep this up for 42 more minutes in regulation, it's going to be tough for Vogler to see the same results he did last night. Face off to the point. Brahmas push it through. Egan, backhander just wide. That went through center. It never had a chance to get on net. Walrap muscles Lutz down to the ice. Brahma's defense steals it away. Feed comes for Giles. Brushed ahead, Walrap spinning around at the blue line. It's Egan. Brahmas start the rush. Cross ice, but it goes well behind Carroll. And at center, it's poked down by Steen. Roadrunners into the zone. They gain entrance off the wall. Irvine now controls it for Gornall. It's pushed away from Kupski and left behind his net. Dominic Lutz back in the near side. Brennan teeing one up. That one right to the glove as the laser was located by Jake Kupski. Kupski with 7 saves. Vogler with 9 in the opening 18 minutes. Baker's lines on the ice now, as he was acquired before the NAHL trade deadline by the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees. And despite Rio Grande Valley losing some depth forwards, they've actually had a better month here in February, which was after the trade deadline. Icing is going to be the call, but Jamie Baker is not going to be one to light up the scoreboard. But he's a hustling forward, a 5'11", 185-pound forward from Columbia, Maryland. And will certainly help out Sutter and Reneker setting things up. Sutter spinning around, looking for Reneker. Clawed at by Kessel and Gadarian. That puck's not seeming to move anywhere. Now it shifts for Sutter. Pulled out finally by Gadarian. And behind the Brahmas goal line, the defense will skate out. Angled off the wall by Sturtzinger. Got the feedback from Gadarian. A backhander goes over the crossbar, and Kessel will spin around. Sturtzinger takes the dish. Goes right back to him. bumped off by Reneker. Wickline turning around a shot was blocked by the defense in front. And Brickley will ease it out of the zone. Speed of Baker and a delayed penalty upcoming. Oh, excuse me, not that. Oh, yes, they will. They'll give him for an interference call. That one's on Solovyev. At first, it appeared the linesman, when he pointed back, he was just signaling where the face-off would be, not that it'd be an icing call. And now Solovyev will sit for the remainder of this period on the interference unless Topeka were to score their second power play goal of the frame. So Brahmas on the Raising Cane's penalty kill for another time. Neutral zone face-off was dropped back to the Topeka zone. 70 seconds remaining in the opening frame, a 1-1 hockey game in North Richland Hills, Texas. Fernsler brings it on the right wing. Off the end glass, Reneker was wedged off the boards there by Alexei Solovyev, and that one, Caleb Thompson, and it was cleared down. Vidmar racing behind the pipes on Brickley. Back to the wing for Reneker, slides it over. This one's Sutter. Interrupted by Steen and cleared with 40 seconds to go in the period. Brickley will touch it behind. Waits for the forwards to get back out, and a big collision in the Topeka zone between Gadarian and Lutz, as neither one of them saw one another. 20 now to play. Left side for Fornaris through center. Irvine tips it forward. Return pass to him. Centering bid went through everyone. He was looking for the stick of Strong, and will stop play with a net coming off its moorings. The draw will stay in the attacking zone for Topeka with 10 seconds to play in the period. Brahmas will go for one more line change. They're putting Gadarian out, not surprising to put their best centerman out in a crucial draw in the waning seconds. Lutz will take it a face-off for Topeka. We'll have to redo it as Topeka was moving late. Fornaris now. Dan Wildfong calling out orders to his team. With a face-off in the Brahmas defensive zone. Fornaris to the wall, worked for by Gadarian. Poland, wrist shot, steered off the stick of Kupski. It goes out of play, 3.6 now on the clock. Well, Brahmas are going to try to hold on here in the final seconds and just go back to the first period intermission with a tie game. Lutz needs a quick and a clean win to get a shot on Kupski before period's end. He got it to the winger, but the Brahmas send it out of the zone. And our first 20 minutes is in the books. Brahmas scored the first of the game, 6 minutes and 13 seconds into this period from Anton Santason. And then Sam Reneker, about 7 minutes after that on the power play, makes it 1-1, and Topeka will still have 42 seconds to play on the man advantage when we come back for period 2. Tie hockey game between the top two teams in the South Division. Period 1 intermission is upon us. We'll come back for period 2 after this.